Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. Finally, we are back with another episode after a little break. So, you're probably wondering what happened and why haven't there been any videos recently. And the answer is very simple. My PC was broken. So, I won't bore you with all the details, but basically one day I couldn't start Windows without getting a blue screen, and it took me a while to diagnose the issue, and about a week later I finally figured out that it was the RAM that was broken. So I replaced that, and that solved 90% of the issues, but there were still some other issues. Issues that prevented me from playing games and rendering videos, because every time I started a game my entire PC would crash within like 15 or 20 minutes, and that started a very long and very tedious process of trying to troubleshoot the remaining issues. And I think I finally solved everything by replacing the motherboard now. I've been playing games now for a couple of days without any crashes. I haven't tried rendering a video yet, but hopefully I can do that as well. So yeah, hopefully everything is fixed now and we can continue our Let's Play of City Skylines. So if you all could please like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, that would help me a lot, because I had to replace a fair bit of hardware in my PC, new motherboard, new RAM, and those parts weren't cheap. So please like the video. Now, where did we leave off with this city? So I don't remember exactly where we were a couple of months ago, but I do know that the city has progressed a little bit since you've last seen it. I have tried to record some videos in the last couple of months, but every time the PC crashed, the recording got corrupted as well. And it usually wasn't more than 10 or 15 minutes of gameplay anyway. So, yeah, those bits are unusual. Not unusual, unusable. So there are some changes to the city. So before we begin today, I thought we'd go over the city as it is right now, have a little recap, you know, to serve as a little reminder for everybody, including myself, to what we were doing in this city and what we are going for. Also, there have been some new DLCs announced and released since we last played, which meant I had to spend some time updating all the mods and getting the city to work again. And also, City Skylines 2 has been announced, which is of course very exciting and something we will definitely be playing as soon as it is released. But we'll talk about that a little more later on in this video. So first, let's take a look around the city to see where we left off, what has changed since the last episode, and what we are going to be doing today. So yeah, let's go. Alright, so first of all, we are of course in the city of Varus Isles, and if you recall correctly, if I recall correctly, what we were going to do is we're going to build a bunch of little villages dotted all around the maps on these islands over here, with the main city being in the center over here. And we started in the first couple of episodes with Manta Ray Bay, which is pretty much done. I still want to fill in this little part over here where there is no trees and just grass, but other than that I think this is basically as much as we are going to do for this city. Most of the building of this village slash city is probably in the first couple of episodes for Varus Isles, so no real changes over here to speak of. Maybe on the highway, but I'll come back to that later. Then on this side we have Bedford Park, which is a nature reserve, I think. And the idea of this being that this whole side of the mountain down here, plus the beach, is going to be a nature reserve, and then eventually when we build our city over here, it will hook up over here via a bridge or a path through the mountain. Not quite sure yet how that's going to work, but we'll see in the future. So we have a nice little 5-star park here, which is making us, well, nothing. It's costing us money, but it's a 5-star park. And those are always nice to have, especially later on when we connect it to the city. It'll be a nice walkway, bikeway for people who don't need a car to get to the city faster. Then on this side we have Marley Beach. Now I think we started building Marley Beach in one of the last episodes. I don't think it was as built up and big as it is now. So you probably missed a little bit of development over here. Don't worry, nothing really exciting has been added. We have added mostly residential areas, mostly again by the high-tech housing buildings, just like we did over here in Manta Bay. I did add a few shops from, I think it's one of those new DLCs, a content creator pack maybe. They added some shops and shopping mall thingies. So I did add a few of those with some parks and again residential high-tech buildings. Nothing really fancy, some parking lots. We added another Albert Heijn over here, which we also did in our previous city. We have a dealership, BMW dealership, which is I think a workshop item. And then we have a medium grocery store over here. I think this one is from that content creator pack as well. And we have of course some soccer fields over here, a normal one and a small one for street soccer. More parking. And yeah, that's about it for Marley Beach. We also have our ferry depot over here and a ferry stop over here. The idea being that we're going to have lots of ferry lines going across all the way over here and all the way over here to the industrial area, which is probably completely new, either completely new or there wasn't anything in it yet the last time we were here. So this is what I was building on. This was what I was developing when the crashes first started to happen. So especially for this part of the city, I have a whole lot of corrupt footage that I can't use in videos. But yeah, we have built this up a little bit. So we have a railroad coming in, one from an outside connection and one from the rest of these little villages, which come in as a double railroad. They have connections to go either way. And then we have one splitting off over here going to what will be in the future the cargo harbor area, and one coming down here to what is right now an industrial area. And I see we have a little bit of a water issue. Is that because we don't have enough water? It is. Where do we get our water from? That's over here, right? Yeah, here it is. This is the sewage, and then we have some water towers over here. So let's plop a few down. And what are we using for sewage? This one. Let's put another one of those down. Excellent. So we'll take care of that properly in the future. So for now, everybody has water again. So what have we built here? We have a little bit of a train yard over here. We have a cargo train station with some of these, which are classified as industry buildings. So what I wanted to do in this little area, I wanted to put down a lot of generic industry, because that is pretty important for the whole economic aspect of City Skylines. And it is one of the things that we neglected in our previous city, which caused us to have money problems basically all the time. So for this time, for this city, I opted to add more generic industry. These are all workshop items, by the way. They are not in the base game, but I wanted to have as many generic industry buildings as possible. Same goes for here. Also, all workshop items, workshop buildings and assets. And over here we have a little bit of a container yard, which are containers that can actually hold goods and which are animated. So the more goods there are inside one of these stacks, the more containers are shown. So that's pretty cool. again here, normal industry with some assets from the workshop. I really like these old factory buildings over here, so we're gonna keep as much of those as possible. We have a waste transfer facility which is empty, so we stop emptying it. Then we have another cargo train station over here, which is probably a little bit of overkill, seeing we have one here as well, but I think it looks good, so we're gonna keep it. We might turn a few of those off because this one costs 12.80 a week. This one is 12.80 a week. So, and we aren't making a whole lot of money at the moment. We're at minus 7,000, minus 9,000. Oh wow. So yeah, probably turn a few of those off. Then we have the post office distribution facility over here with lots of parking again. And we added some nice concrete around it. So we have these gates over here. Trucks can back up to it or back into it. So yeah, this is going to be the industry building. This is going to be also where we are going to generate most of our power. So power is at the moment not an issue. We are producing 144. We still have this one that is turned off, which is already built, and we also have these wave power plants over here, which are producing power. Not a whole lot, but you know, enough. So yeah, this is probably completely new for you guys. So how we are going to build this further out is most of this part and over here on this side of the train is going to be generic industry. Then over here we might build a little bit of residential, with the idea being that this is a suburb or the end of a major city that is over here where we can't see it. Then on this side we might add a little village in here as well, just to support the industry over here, so people don't have to travel that far to get over here to the industry. So we do want a little bit of residential over here. This island will probably be a farming island. This, I'm thinking, will be a cruise ship harbor, and then this will be another nature reserve with an entrance over here, maybe a few commercial buildings as well. But this whole thing is, you know, in the future. It's not something we are going to be building today. So looking at the overall map, we are fairly secluded in this little corner of the map over here, and I started that because I want to fill this entire map. We're going to be playing this game until the map is full or until my PC can't handle it anymore. So that's why I started over here in a corner. By the way, now that I'm looking at it from a distance, Walnut Hills is not a name I chose. So if you have any more beach, water, ocean, island related names for an industry area, please suggest them in the comments and I will pick one and put it over here on our industry area. So yeah, as I was saying, this will be the main city, and then there will be islands with little villages around, dotted around the map. So what is the plan for today? Now today, one of the things I want to do is to set up the base for the infrastructure between all these little islands and villages. So what we did in one of the previous episodes, one of the first episodes actually, we have a village station over here and we have a cargo station over here. So my idea is that every little village will have at least one cargo station to supply goods for the shops and the stores and everything that is needed, and at least one normal train station so that people who live here can easily go to work on other parts of the map. So Marley Beach doesn't have any train stations at all yet. So they need a cargo train station and they need a normal people train station. And I was thinking maybe a people train station over here and a cargo station over here on the other side. And that will nicely tie into this railroad branching off down here and going to the industry area. Now the industry area already has 2 cargo stations, so we won't be adding another cargo station, but we will be adding, I think, also a normal human train station over here somewhere, so that people who live in Manta Ray Bay and people that work in Marley Beach can just hop on a train and be inside what is now Walnut Hills, but what will be called something else, within a matter of minutes. And then once the train stations are done, I think it's time to start a bus route through Manta Ray Bay that takes people from the village station all the way to where they need to go, because there's also some industry over here with the wood industry. And the same thing applies for here. There will be a bus line going through the city to take people from the train station all the way through Marley Beach and the other way around. So that is what we are going to do today, and we have an autosave.
20 minutes later.
The autosave took quite a little while to finish itself. Now the issue that I had with my PC meant that I had 64 gigabits of DDR4 RAM in my PC previously, but obviously that broke and I had to replace it, and I didn't have enough money to buy another 64 gigabit kit at the same speed, so I bought a 32 gigabit kit at the same speed, which for 99% of PC things is no issue whatsoever, except for City Skylines, of course, because City Skylines is quite resource heavy and the more RAM the better. So autosaves will take a bit of time right now, but that's okay. At least we have the city back up and running again and we are recording videos again, so that is a big plus in my book. So yeah, as I was saying, we are going to build these train stations. Also, I think Marley Beach, we can fill in the rest of Marley Beach, at least down until the train station while we are at it. And if there is any time left today, we are going to be building a little extension to the residential area in Manta Ray Bay as well, to fill up these little green spots that are left. So with that all being said, this is what we are working with from now on. Very happy to be back, very happy to be recording again, very happy to be playing games again, because I haven't been able to play any games and except for solitaire and stuff like that for a good 2 months. So yeah, good to be back, and let's get started. Alright, and here we are with the first part of our infrastructure railroad project done. We have added a cargo train station and a normal train station to Marley Beach, and I have also done a little bit of detailing around the train stations, around the tracks, and I started with a little downtown area for Marley Beach with a whole lot of plazas and this cool national library that came, I think it was one of the recent DLCs, not sure. Africa in miniature. I think this looks really modern. It has some Africa vibes, yeah, sure, but I think it fits in really well over here in Varus Isles. So that is a nice addition to Marley Beach. Other than that, I started expanding for the residential area quite a bit. One thing I want to do is I want to fill in this little square here, this part here, and of course the final area over here. I am not going to bore you a whole lot with that. I think we're going to do that through the magic of YouTube editing, but not quite yet. The next thing we also need to do is we need to add a passenger train station over here in Walnut Hills so we can complete our infrastructure project for this episode. And once we have done that, we will have a train route going from Manta Bay through Marley Beach all the way to Walnut Hills and back. I did notice that I have the ride pack installed from the workshop, which has a basically, if you don't know it, ride, I think it's spelled like this. Yeah, it's spelled like this. And basically what it is, it's a collection of a whole lot of different infrastructure types like buses and trams and trains and airplanes and boats, and they're all from the same company. So I really like that. So instead of the generic train and the generic boat ride and the generic bus you get with the default game, there is a workshop collection that has all these kinds of different transport elements, and they're all part of the same company, so they're all branded the same, they all have the same logos, they all have the same colors, they all look alike. So that is what I'm using in my city, what we are using in Varus Isles. But one thing I did notice is that these train stations have the intercity trains on, and some of those ride trains are really long. Let's see if we can spot one while we are here. Oh, here's one, look. So this is one of the ride trains. Looks absolutely gorgeous. There's a nice blue color. They all have the same branding, they all have the same logo. And this is an ICE 4 7-car train. But it is way too big for the station over here. As you can see, this car and this car are completely outside the station. So for now we're going to keep intercity trains on, but once we get to the bigger city parts and the main train stations, then we're going to turn off the intercity trains at these local stations, and then the local train rides will only have the smaller versions of the trains. So yeah, we don't have these issues where the trains are too long for the station anymore. So, but without further ado, I think it is time to finish this part of Marley Beach. We're going to fill in this one over here, and this one over here. It's going to be mostly residential, maybe a little bit of shopping, a school or something like that. Maybe even some mid-rises like we did over here, but nothing special. So in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so here we are. Marley Beach, completely filled in all the blank spots. And I must say it does look good. I really like how this turned out. I think we are finished with Marley Beach now, at least for a while. It does look a little bit square to me. So there need to be some rough edges on this side and on this side. Maybe some farming over here, and we definitely need to do something with the beach. But we'll do that once I have found some decent beach assets. I'm sure they are out there in the workshop. Just haven't found any yet. And also, this is incredibly busy here. All those people, I think, waiting for the ferry. Yeah, look at that. People waiting for the ferry. So maybe we can do a little bit of commercial hotels over here as well once we do the beach. But that will be in a future episode. So for now, we are going to continue to our industrial area, Walnut Hills, which is a stupid name. And I did some prep work. I moved this road that goes from this one to this one that was originally here. So moved it a little bit to the right, so we have some room to work with. Also, a lot of these were complaining about raw goods, not enough raw goods. So I added a new outside connection over here because these are generic industry. And I think they just need imported stuff. Not sure how that works. They can receive goods from specialized industry areas, if I'm not mistaken. But we don't have a whole lot of those yet. We only have one wood area, one forestry area over here. So at the moment they need to import most of their stuff. And if we take a look at the map, the closest outside connection was over here. So if they needed to import stuff, they had to get it from over here. Then they had to get off the highway all the way over this national road all the way down here. So I added another outside connection, and now they are not complaining anymore about anything. So that looks to be solved. Now, what are we going to do here? Now we need to build a passenger train station over here. And just like the other two, it's going to be a small one. We don't need a whole big passenger station. I really like this one, although we already used it. We have an elevated one. Track is not elevated though. We could make it a double one. We have a double railroad. This is a village station. It has a nice, cool little building. I think this one is a little bit too fancy for an industry area. I think this one would do pretty good. Now, do we want it in here or do we want it on a side rail? I think we want it on a side rail. Just because both of these lead to a cargo station and we don't want to hold up the cargo trains and mingle them with the normal trains. So I think over here is going to be perfect. So let's remove a few trees. You know, actually, now that I look at this, I don't think we're going to have intercity trains here anyway. So I don't think it is necessary for this station to be hooked up to this outside line. I think the only trains we're going to have in this station eventually are going to be the train towards Marley Beach and the one towards Manta Bay. And I don't think, and maybe one stop further once the city is here and we have a big intercity station, then we'll extend the line into the city. But for now, I think, yeah, just that connection is going to be enough. So let's put it in. Let's put it after this one so we don't get tempted. And this one, we also don't need a connection to this part because this is also only going to be cargo. In fact, we don't even need this connection at all, I think, but it's good to have. Looks nicer if we have it, I think. So remove the trees from the rail. And for now, I don't think we're going to detail this a whole lot. We'll come back to this area in a future episode, but for now, I think just having it here is enough. So, like that. And then all there is left to do is to create a train line. So, we'll create a new line. We don't have any trains yet, do we? Oh, we do have a train line. Oh no, that's the one I just created. Okay, cool. That goes down here into the passenger station at Marley Beach. And then through the tunnel into, oh, jumpy game, into the passenger station over here. And then it goes back. We'll stop again in Marley Beach. And then we'll finish the line over here. Excellent. And then we'll hit a quick pause because the train that we want to use for this, it's going to be, I think, a 5-car. Let's do the 5-car Talent 3. Excellent. And then the line color, I don't really care. Number of trains, I do care. 5 is a little bit much. Let's set it to 2. Normally on a line like this, you'd have 2 trains. One going in this direction, one going in the other direction at the same time. They'll probably be at the same time at the middle stop, but that's all right. So that is the train line that we need. Excellent. Let's see if we can take a ride on the train. All right, and here we have one of the trains. Oh, don't you go anywhere. Looks pretty good, not too big. Fits in the station nicely, I think. Oh, we are not in an ideal place. We need to move forward a little bit. That was a ride on the train from the industry area all the way up to Manta Bay. Looks pretty good. So last thing that we need to do today, I think, is we need to put in some bus routes. And before we can do any bus routes, we need to plop down a bus depot. So we do have ride bus depots. And since we are all using ride offices, I think we're going to use the ride bus depot. And I think this is going to be a nice spot to put a bus depot. Let's see. Where would we want to put a bus depot? Next to the post sorting facility? maybe. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. It also has on the back, so we need to add a road like so. Ooh, that's a little bit too far. Come on, get the note. Excellent. A little bit of paint. Very nice. Right. Now that we have a depot, we can paint in some bus lines. Now, Marley Beach. Obviously, a bus is going to stop near the train station. And I think the logical route would be to go over here, this part of the town, because here there's a lot of shops in the center over here, and then maybe one here, this one and this one, and then we could probably add one over here, one here. No, that's too far. Let's put it down there, and complete the line. Excellent. And that is the first bus line. So this is the #1 Marley Beach. And I'm going to remove the word local from that. So Marley Beach #1. And then we can do Marley Beach #2 right next to it in the opposite direction. Excellent. Come on. Okay. #2 Marley Beach. Very nice. And then Manta Ray Bay. Let's see, the passenger station is on this side. We'll have a bus stop over here. Let's stop at the park entrance, obviously. One over here on this park entrance, which is also close to the ferry line. Then we can go along the beach. Next to the high rises over here. Next to the fishing over here and over here. Do this loop. And here a stop. Here a stop. This one. Maybe we can add one over here. Let's do it on this side. And then complete the line. Nice. So this is Manta Ray Bay. Again, I'm going to remove the local. And bus line #4 is going to be exactly the same, but in the opposite direction. Excellent. #4 Manta Ray Bay. Now I didn't look at the vehicles, but I think 6 is a little bit too much. Let's keep it at 4 on this one. Same for #2. Let's put this one 11. Wow, that's so much. Let's put 6 in on this one. And then 6 on this one as well. And we didn't look at the vehicles, so we don't want random. We only have biofuel options, because we only have a biofuel depot. I'm going to say, I think, the catalyst E2, capacity of 60. So let's see if we can spot a bus. Lots of people waiting on this bus stop. But I haven't seen a single bus yet. Ah, there we have one. Excellent. Yeah, looks alright. Looks a little bit like an American bus. I don't mind that. I don't think this is a very Europe-inspired map, so... Today we extended the rail network from Manta Ray Bay all the way to Marley Beach, all the way to Walnut Hills. We now have a railroad that connects all these three areas, so people who live in one of these villages can now work in the industry area. We added our first bus lines. And with that, I think we're going to close off this episode. I think I already spent way too much time on this part of the episode, so you'll probably see a little bit of a longer episode than what you're used to. But hey, we are back with City Skylines. My PC is working again. I can play games again. I can render videos again. I can put out YouTube videos again. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.